Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery with IIMFL and Smart Money Alliance. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, April 6th, 2021, 7:59 a.m. Central, just a minute or so before 8 o'clock. We get together most weekdays at this time to visit with our distribution partners. We have three primary types of distribution partners. We have affiliates. It is free and easy to be an affiliate. And we actually have a new front-end affiliate process that will officially roll out tomorrow. Secondly, we have credit literacy educators. Our credit literacy educators are involved, to no surprise, in helping improve financial literacy and helping individuals act upon that improved knowledge by having a higher credit score. A higher credit score provides increased access to housing, transportation, business financing, and it has other many benefits. And the cream of the crop are our joint venture partners. Our joint venture partners used to have a hefty license fee, not a franchise fee, but a license fee, but now we waive that based upon minimum performance. So any of you that may have been on the fence about potentially becoming a joint venture partner, it may be a great time to do so, whereby you make more money and you don't have to pay money. But each day we have a topic, and we've had a number of really, I think, powerful, impactful, and relevant topics. Today, we're going to go back and take a broad look at the 60-day credit sweep resource site. So 60daycreditsweep.com is the website that we're operating off of. This is a program offered through the Institute for Improved Minority Financial Literacy. We are an IRS-approved 501c3 nonprofit, and you have our contact information here at the bottom of the page. The 60-day credit sweep program is good for you to get familiar with this proposition, but it may not be good for you to send clients to, and I'll explain that in a moment. Now, there's just 3 pages set up here on the 60-day credit sweep. We have the information request page, which summarizes the value proposition, clarifies what the 60-day credit sweep is. It is not credit repair. It is legal following the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Section 605B. It is fast. We have a very high success rate in addressing derogatory items. There's no risk to the client. We have great success stories, and I'll show you those that are on the next page. And it's affordable, and we can set up payment plans for pretty much anyone. The press release is linked here, a little bit of about us, and then this is the inquiry form. And I'm going to come back and talk about how you'll use this site depending upon how you're going to market in a moment. So we're going to save conversation on this for a moment. We have a few training videos. These training videos are from the perspective primarily of the prospective client. Whether it be an individual or an entrepreneur, they realize that their credit's not where they need to be, that they want to learn more about this proposition because they want to make an educated decision, of course. So we have some past trainings, including highlighting some success stories, with one of which featured here, and then more information about how the program works. Get over to the 3rd page, and we added this most recently. It's a career tab, and this is to help attract new credit literacy educators. We need more people to go educate, whether it be in group or individual, in person or online, to create more awareness. And so, as you've picked up on, I imagine, we're really emphasizing the white label program, and that'll be relevant in a moment as we talk about the 2 different ways to market. And so then there's a number of videos here that are relevant to the role of the credit literacy educator, best practices, scripts, techniques, and so forth. And so if someone wants to become a credit literacy educator, they fill out this little form here. What I want to do is go back to the information request page. And so here at the bottom of the page, there's 2 ways that you could use this form, and it's very important to understand the 2 different ways. So way number 1 is when you're just simply referring in a prospect. You're not doing the white label, which we'll talk more about in a moment. You're not doing the white label. You're not collecting the money from them. You're not quote unquote closing the deal. You're just referring in a client for the 60-day credit sweep. And that's perfectly fine if you'd like to do that. Obviously, you're going to put in name, email, referred by, phone number, and then let us know what their area of interest is. So that's simple enough. Now, what's important to understand is that if you are marketing the white label, then we do it differently. So the white label, you're not going to drive people to this website. You're going to create awareness. We'll provide you, as I think we have for everyone that's requested it, we'll provide you a free flyer. On the flyer has your phone number. So you mark it however you want, and they're calling you. They're talking to a real person. They're talking to you. And then if they decide to enroll, and we'll go over and I guess we should go here to the white label. So then and under the white label, you're pitching it, you're closing it, you're setting the price for the client, you're collecting the money from the client. And so many of you are doing this superbly well. So then if that is the process, scenario B, scenario A, just refer in. Scenario B, white label, you're pitching it, you're closing it, you've collected the money from the client, however much you want. Now you need to do two things, right? You need to forward our portion of the funds over, but specifically here, you need to let us know what's going on. So that's where then you would put in, again, the client's name, email, phone number, but you might write sold white label. We could say Kwong sold this. So we'll say, and there's no specific wording, but by Quang Tran sent 839, which is our portion. You can sell it for as much as you want via Zelle on 4/6/2021. So it doesn't have to be exactly like that, but what you need to communicate to us in that referred by field is that you're not just submitting us a prospect that we need to go close. Instead, it's alerting us, oh, okay, so you've sold a deal. So you wouldn't put in prospects here under the white label until you've collected the money and you're ready to send us our portion. You don't put them in. We don't need to know who those people are, because with white label, you're developing your leads, which we'll talk more about in a second, and you're closing your leads. This is just simply to let us know, hey, a payment's coming over, and you don't have to send it via Zelle. That's one option. But a payment's coming over. Here's who it's coming from. In this case, it's coming from Kwong. And that way we can match the payment to the client and then implement. So again, two scenarios for using this form. If you're just simply referring someone in, you're going to make a flat $100 after they've paid the processing fee. And so that's fine. If all you want's $100, then you wouldn't do all of this. Then in that case, Kwong would just put his name, right? You put your name. That's all we need to know. However, if you're doing white label, we need more than that. We need some reference to white label and then how and when you're sending the money to match to the client. So that works really well. So again, for white label, don't load them in here until you're ready to submit the money. We don't need to know who they are. We don't want to track your prospects. We're only tracking sold units, essentially, if it's coming through the white label. Are there any questions? And we've got a whole lot of people on the training today, which is exciting. Do any of you have questions about these two different scenarios of how to use this form? And I'll talk about what happens afterwards. But are there any questions about how to use this form? It's either scenario A or B. A, you're referring in, you'll be paid $100 after they close. That's it. Scenario B, white label, you're pitching, you're setting the price, you're collecting from them, and then you're letting us know that. So it just varies. As far as what happens afterwards, we're going to send them the agreement to execute via DocuSign, and it's going to be a different agreement for scenario A versus B, and that's why it's important. We got James on the line. He submitted 2 in one day, which was great, his first day. And in that case, and it was just miscommunication. It's fine. Everything's okay now, but he didn't properly let us know these are 2 white label clients. So we thought, oh, he sent us 2 prospects that he wants us to close. Well, that wasn't the case. He had already closed them, had already collected the money. So make sure that you're letting us know that here. But regardless, once payment is received and attached to the client's file, then we're going to send them one of 2 different DocuSigns, either our in-house DocuSign or the white label DocuSign. So it'll vary, and that's another reason why we need to know, is this a white label client or not? So then we send them the appropriate agreement, they execute that, and then we need to get just 2 pieces of information from them. Now, it's clearly stated in the DocuSign, they even have to initial by it, so they're not surprised. It's not too painful, but we need to obtain from them both a copy of their driver's license for proof of identity, very common, and then a proof of address. And that is typically a current utility bill within 30, no more than 60 days old, that has their name and their address, of course, that's what makes it proof of their address, or a bank statement that shows their name and their address on it. Sometimes people will send in other items, and that's not preferred. So usually it's going to be a utility bill or a bank statement. So essentially what we need to get to the document processors is the executed DocuSign, the copy of the driver's license, and the proof of address. And so it's pretty painless. And so then we'll take it from there. What questions do any of you have about the 60-day credit sweep? And again, we've had a number of trainings, and so I'm certainly not attempting today to even come close to recapping the value proposition, how it works, why it's legal, the steps we go through. We're not recovering all of that. You're going to find great training available on demand. I'm just trying to seek clarification of how to submit leads and or clients. In either case, they're coming through this form. Now, some of you are saying, hey, can I get a landing page for the white label? We get to see that's an oxymoron, right? Because the landing pages are a way to generate leads for our in-house team to close. White label, you're not having us close your deals. White label, you're pitching it under your own branding. You're speaking, you're educating with the client, you're converting them, you're closing, you're collecting the money. All we need in the white label is this form filled out, as I showed you as an example. Now, we do have a flyer, and we're more than happy, and we've provided a ton of them. All you need to do is email us, and you can see our email address here. And so if you want a 60-day credit sweep flyer, we're more than happy to create that for you. And I think there's a sample of one. No, I guess it's a press release here, but we're more than happy to create one for you, and it would have your phone number on it. Because I don't know if you have a landing page or a website, but ultimately the best practice is to have them call you. And so then you speak with them, and then you are able to communicate with them. And also that allows you, if you're using the flyer or the marketing campaign in general, then if you're getting their phone number, you have the ability to text them. And what we've all learned is text is more effective than email in today's environment. People are inundated with emails. Emails have filters, and they'll go into promotion or spam or junk or what have you. So the best practice certainly is to market, have them contact you or even text you, and then you can communicate with them via their mobile phone in most cases. All right, so Mark has a question. He says, if we promote the 60-day credit sweep as a non-white label, which is fine. So that means that then under that case, it would be just fine for them to come to this page and see this information. And then we will, oh, I see. Okay, let me read Mark's question more carefully. So if he promotes it as a non-white label, but he is collecting the 939. No. I got to read this again. Okay. So Mark's promoting this, or at least his question is non-white label. So he's going to submit the prospect's information here. We're going to follow up with them. We're going to collect from them. We're going to close them. They're going to pay the $939 processing fee. and then $100 of that is paid to you, Mark. That's correct. We don't call it a refund because you didn't pay it, but you are paid a commission of a flat 100 under the non-white label. Typically on the white label, you make 1,000, which is 10 times more. So hopefully that answered your question, Mark. Sorry, I bumbled with that a bit. Okay, who else has any questions about how this works? And again, yesterday's training, I think, was really a home run from what everyone told me. It's now posted over on the career page, and it's right here. And it addresses one of the other C's, right? Because what we're here to do, we're technical advisors. Primarily, we're helping entrepreneurs, whether they be pre-revenue, early stage, or even mature. We're helping them raise capital. And what you and I know is to raise capital through debt by borrowing money, you have to meet at least one of the 3 C's. What you and I know is a lot of these folks don't have any of the 3 C's, or they're missing enough credibility. Otherwise, they just go to the bank and get funding. So with that being said, how do we go about addressing those C's? Well, one of the C's is creditworthiness. And so that's where the whole credit sweep comes in. It may or may not be applicable to their circumstances, but it's certainly effective if it is. Another one of the C's is cash flow. Sometimes they just don't have enough cash flow to demonstrate the ability to service the debt or to even get positioned for a capital raise. And now we have a solution for that. It's based around helping them raise $40,000 in 30 days. And we went through this. It was a 53-minute training yesterday. So if you've not listened to this at least twice, I would go back and listen to it, because it may make a difference in your world. But most importantly, it's a valuable technique to help entrepreneurs that are struggling address the second C, which is cash flow. The third C, of course, is collateral, and there's not really an instant fix for that beyond helping them get a key person policy, which does serve as collateral. So the goal is to work with each of you to drive in to generate 10 clients a week. And you might say, well, that seems like a high number. Well, we talked yesterday, this is a $3.4 billion industry. If we were to just tap into 1%, become 1% market share, we would control, it would generate 7 figures for you per year. And we're in a unique circumstance because what we offer is legal, it's ethical, it's guaranteed, it's fast, and there's just no risk. There's no risk to the client. So it's superior. Robert has a question, and it's a good question, but there's not a simple answer. So Robert's starting to ask questions about, well, who would benefit from the 60-day credit sweep? And his question specifically is, would someone with a 680 credit score? Quite possibly. We really need to look at their credit profile for us to make a recommendation, because we commonly see people with a 680 credit score that with the 60-day credit sweep could move much higher. And with a much higher credit score, they're going to have higher borrowing capacity and better terms. But we need to really look at the profile to be able to answer that question. Just simply put, and I know where Robert's going with it, 680 is typically the lower end of an acceptable credit score. So what I think Robert's getting at is, well, if they've got a 680, does it make sense to do anything with their credit profile? It depends on their circumstances, but in most cases, yes, because the higher the credit score, again, the more access to capital we'll have, and typically the better terms. But it may be that their profile wouldn't benefit. It wouldn't apply to the 60-day credit sweep. We don't know without looking at their profile. We had a client yesterday that we enrolled in the 60-day credit sweep that's sitting above 700, but there was some very specific reasons why that was advantageous to the client. And then we explained it to the client. The client said, heck yeah, that makes sense. What are some examples? Robert's asking, okay, so with credit sweep, let's scroll down. What are some of the derogatives that can come off? Bankruptcies. Bankruptcy, whether you agree with it or not, it's legal and it's ethical and it's effective in getting rid of debt, so it's no longer collectible. However, it often does still reflect on your credit report, And that in itself, it flags you as being higher risk and impacts your score. There's nothing legally that requires bankruptcies to continue to be reported on your credit report. And so we've seen about an 80% success rate in getting bankruptcies off. Secondly, inquiries. Inquiries show how often we're out applying for credit. And we see some people that come through and they have 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 or more inquiries on their credit report. Well, while inquiries account for a small part of the credit scoring algorithm, it certainly does create caution in the mind of many lenders of, uh-oh, how many places is this person out shopping for credit for? And are they desperate? How much credit are they going to be taking on that maybe doesn't reflect on the credit report yet, and so forth. So removing applicable inquiries is also very, very helpful. And to no surprise, collection accounts and charge-off accounts don't reflect positively. So again, any of these that are removed have to be applicable, consistent with Section 605B of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. But if they are applicable, it just makes all the sense in the world to remove them. And in some cases, people have a pretty high credit score, but it could be even stronger if applicable items were removed. So the answer to your question ultimately is we have to look at the profile and decide in any given specific case. Okay, and so that was Robert's question. And yeah, so if you've sent someone over to do the soft credit pull, and we're probably going to integrate in the soft credit pull into the website here at some point. We've not done so yet, but most likely that will happen, and we'll let you know how that can change and improve the process a little bit. Because I can tell you it's powerful, right? Robert, if you have someone, we'll say April, and April doesn't have bad credit, but April's on the call here, so we'll just pick on April for a moment. So if April fills out the soft credit pull and we can do a free credit analysis with her, our closing rate is near 100%, because obviously April has some interest in better credit and or funding if she's filled out the soft credit pull authorization. And then secondly, we're able to look at exactly what's going on in her profile, what's causing her score to be low, and then we can consult with her and come to a joint decision very quickly. Does it make sense to use the 605B provision of the Fair Credit Reporting Act? So you will see a bit of an evolution where we're building in those free evaluations as part of the sales process, if you will, coming up later this month. Who else has any questions regarding the merit, the process, the results? Who else has any questions that I can help you with today based upon what we shared over the 60daycreditsweep.com website? Mark asks, so if we direct clients to the 60daycreditsweep.com, well, it's up to you. Ultimately, we'll provide you a flyer that directs the prospects back to your phone number, Mark. And so you don't need to steer them to this website. And frankly, if you steer them to this website and they don't remember to put referred by you, then we won't know that they're referred by you. So probably what would be smarter would be for you to market, direct them back to you. Don't direct them to a website. Have a quick consultation with them. So you're not really doing a credit consult necessarily. You don't have their credit report to look at, but you can explain to them what we do and how it works and what your pricing is. And then if they would like to move forward, even if it's a non-white label, you could go ahead and drop their name, email, and phone number in, Mark, and of course, put your name here. And then by doing that, we know that it's a deal that we need to go close, but it's referred by you and it'll be coded to you. So I wouldn't necessarily just drive people to the site, because I think your risk of doing that is having orphaned clients, right? You could lose prospects because they may or may not know to say referred by you. what we found to be most successful leading up to this is marketing and having them call you. And we want you to have that conversation with them and explain how this works. So whether you want to close them or not, that's the difference between the white label or not. But it's just less about driving people to another website than it is about having them connect with you and having a conversation with a real person. Thank you, Mark, for that. Scott says that I mentioned yesterday that a client could have a very high credit score and still not qualify for funding, which is true. I mean, different sources of capital have different underwriting criteria. And so just imagine, Scott, you and I go down to the local Wells Fargo bank where we bank with. And so if you and I go down to the Wells Fargo bank and our credit scores are very high, but we have no income and we don't have adequate collateral, then we have ourselves a problem, don't we? So there are some sources of capital that don't verify income. So if the person lied on their application, which we're not going to lie for them, but if they lied and they said, oh yeah, I make 100,000 a year, even though they make zero and they have a high credit score, there's some sources of funds that would approve them. But in general, the 3 C's apply, and having credit worthiness, which is a depiction that we've paid our bills on time in the past, and cash flow, which illustrates that we have the ability to pay our bills going forward. And again, if cash flow is an area that's sensitive to you or to any of your prospects, we can now fix cash flow by getting them a significant amount of money within a 30-day window. So Scott's ultimately saying, should we use credit sweep even if their cash flow is weak? Well, yes, because the credit sweep is not promising funding. What we're doing is this. We're helping address applicable derogatory accounts so their credit scores go up. That in itself doesn't promise funding. But you're right, if they also have cash flow issues, then you can either recommend or we can recommend that they look at the opportunity fund to get some extra money in their pocket. Okay, let's see. Marcelina says, hello, Thomas. If we're doing the white label, by when can we charge the difference to the customer? Oh, okay. Well, if you're doing white label, you're choosing how much you want to charge the client and the triggers of when they're paying you. Some of you may charge everything up front. Some of you may charge nothing up front and all at the end of 60 days. Some of you may break it into 3 equal payments or 2 equal payments. How you collect money under the white label is completely up to you. We're removed from that. And that gives you flexibility of pricing and profit. Thank you for that question. Greg asks, can clients be submitted for first tranche financing by just being an affiliate, or do we need to be a credit literacy educator? Well, first tranche financing is part of the client process, the access to capital, which that's different than being a distribution partner. In terms of you submitting clients for first tranche financing, I don't understand that. You wouldn't need to ever submit someone for first tranche financing. What's going to happen is they're going to get to week 2 of the 4-week process, and then the mentor is going to work with them to make sure they've done the soft credit pull authorization and complete their personal financial statement. And then the system automatically, Greg, will have us looking for the most appropriate type of financing for their circumstances. Like yesterday, Pedro, his first tranche financing was $9,000, and it was a business credit card. I think from Capital One, but don't hold me to that. So he's pleased as punch. He's got a little bit of working capital, more than covered his refundable deposit. Now we're off to the next round, but that's not your burden. You submit them into access to capital, which isn't specifically what we're talking about, and the system will pick them up. The process will pick them up for FTF. John asked, are we updated throughout or after the 60 days with the results? So clients that are in the 60-day credit sweep will receive an update. They'll have monitoring throughout, but they'll receive a specific update on or around day 45. Because remember, with credit sweep, you're not being paid on the back end from us. And so you're collecting either $100 from us if you're just referring them in, or on average 1,000 if you're doing white label. So there's not necessarily a need for you to know what their new credit scores are, but you certainly can communicate with the client. You got to realize we're somewhat limited of how much information we can provide to you as the referral source about clients, unless the clients have expressly authorized that. Okay, Mark says, if we promote the 60-day credit sweep as a non-white label, they will send us the 939. Yep. Yeah, the 939 is the document processing fee. So you would submit them in that case, scenario A, non-white label. You give us their name, their email, their phone. So I clicked on the wrong one, referred by you, and then click the appropriate box. And then we'll take it from there. We'll collect the 939. And once they've paid the 939, then that would trigger a $100 payout for you. Greg says, where are they submitted now? Not able on my page. Don't know what that means, Greg. If you can rephrase that question, I can better help you. Dion says, an affiliate enter a client into access to capital and their mentor proposed the white label and they accept. Will the affiliate get a portion? Okay. You didn't put any punctuation in there, Dion, so I struggle with it, but I think I've got the point. So Dion's an affiliate, not a joint venture partner. He's not a mentor. So if Dion brings in an access to capital client, whomever promotes credit sweep to the client is the one that gets paid. I don't know any other way to do it. So you're more than welcome to do it, Dion, and you'll know that your client is an access to capital because you'll be copied on their, you'll be notified of their enrollment. So if you want to go sell them on 60-day credit sweep, go do it. If you want to just refer them in, scenario A. If you want to do white label, which is probably smarter, do white label, Dion. But if you do none of those and someone else does it, then of course they're doing the work and they would deserve to get paid. Okay, Greg asked, where are clients for FTF submitted? Well, you don't submit any clients for FTF. You submit clients for the access to capital. So we're going to talk about this tomorrow, but let's go ahead and do a brief close on this. So on iimfl.org, you can see a link to access to capital here at the top. Also, there's a drop down, which takes you to the same page. But in either case, what you're going to do, and we're going to talk about this on training tomorrow, is you're going to get set up as an affiliate in this new system because we're running the affiliate platform off of the CRM now. So it has better data transfer and better reporting to you. So if you've not done this, you're going to fill out to become an affiliate partner by clicking this. And then what's going to happen is where this page appears on the generic, you'll get a unique link once you're set up as an affiliate partner on this new platform that you'll get two links is what you'll get. One, to submit clients in, gathering this basic information. There's 3 steps. Step 1 is we gather just basic information. Step 2, they review the terms and conditions. And then step 3, we do the onboarding questionnaire. So under the new model, what you need to do, and we'll talk about this officially in training tomorrow, is get set up as an affiliate partner under the new system using this gray box. Then what you'll do is you'll have 2 links, one link to recruit sub-affiliates if you want to get overrides, and the other link to submit clients. You can submit them here, and it'll later in the process ask referred by, but that's not foolproof, is it? What's more foolproof is to become an affiliate and get a new unique link. And so that's what we would recommend that you do. Yeah, and I apologize. We've been migrating over from the old system to the new system, and we'll be fully operational tomorrow. So if you have leads that you just need to get in between now and then, what you can do is just simply email us if you want, and we'll connect them to you. But as of tomorrow, we'll have the official grand rollout of the new front end process. But it starts, hint, hint, with each of you going in and getting set up as a new affiliate partner in the in this new front end portal. All right, Dion says, if I want to post this program on my webpage, how can I get this approved? Well, if you're doing white label and you're not mentioning us, then you don't need to get any approval. But if you're marketing our program under our branding, then you need to email Dion whatever materials you're using, ads, flyers, websites, whatever, email content, for our approval from a compliance perspective to make sure that you're represented accurately. So again, that's another strong reason to do the white label, because then you can go market however you want, because you're the one that's pitching it to the client. You're the one that's closing the client. All right, well, we covered a lot of information. Let's close back out and summarize. So we were over on the 60-day credit sweep, walked you through that, clarified how to use the intake form under scenario A, just refer them in and get paid 100, or scenario B, white label, and just make sure that you let us know, like in this example. And wrapping up with questions here. So Robert asked, driver's license needed when? Once they have enrolled in the credit sweep, and they don't technically have to have a driver's license, but they need a proof of identity, and a driver's license is the most common, but it's not the only source. So the proof of identity and proof of address is collected after they've paid, after they've enrolled in the 60-day credit sweep, but you won't be responsible for collecting that. We'll collect that from them. And they'll know there's no surprises. It's in the agreement that they signed. All right, last question, and we'll wrap it up here. Scott asked, do I need to be a credit literacy advisor to become an affiliate partner? No. So again, 3 levels of referral partners. There is affiliate, which is the lowest level. It's free and easy to become an affiliate. Who wouldn't want to become an affiliate? And the way to become an affiliate under this integrated front end model for access to capital is right here in this gray box. So everybody should be an affiliate. It's free and easy. Not everybody wants to be a credit literacy advisor because it involves teaching and mentoring, but you make a lot more money. And so if you want to be a credit literacy educator, if you're not already, then you simply come over to 60-day credit sweep, go to the careers page, and fill out this box here, and we'll get you set up. All right. Thanks, everybody. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you back tomorrow morning. Have a good day. Bye.